This is your money coach, Money Feed MD. For those that do not know me, I'm Dr. Latifat. I am a money coach, aka Money Feed MD, and I help women physicians like you and I help stop financial overwhelm. So today I'm going to talk about how to go about achieving your goals, your financial goals, without overwhelm. As you probably know, and you've heard on my other episodes, I do talk about money goals, I talk about finances, but a lot of this can be extrapolated to other parts of your life. So are you someone that has goals? You know exactly what you want. You know that you want to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. You know that you want to pay off your credit card debt. Or you've actually gone through all that, and what you're trying to focus on now is learning about finances. But it just seems so complicated, right? Everyone you talk to seems to know everything about everything. And you're like, this is so overwhelming. There's no way I can learn this. There's no way I can get all the information that I need. And there's no way I can master this, right? You open your mouth to talk to anybody and they just sound like they're like 50 million steps ahead of you, right? So today, this one is for you if that describes how you feel about finances and financial knowledge and acquiring knowledge. So here's the thing. A lot of us are familiar with the idea of compounding interest. So, and for those that are not, it's this idea of you putting your money or investing your money into something and it grows interest over time. Say, for example, you may be growing 8 to 10% per year. And over time, that interest gets added to the amount that you put in your principal. And at some point, you start to see more of an exponential growth. So if you invest $10,000 this year, that's making about 10% per year. 10 years from now, you're not going to have 100,000. You're going to have compounded. You're probably going to have over 200,000 because of how compounding interest works. And that's why we always recommend that people try and start investing as soon as they can. So this idea of compounding interest can also be extrapolated into other parts of your life. So when it comes to financial goals, financial knowledge, acquiring knowledge, I want us to try and start putting that same compounding thoughts into it. So what are you talking about, Dr. Latifat? You may ask. I'm glad you asked that question. So what I'm talking about is this. One of the reasons why we feel overwhelmed is because we think there's so much to learn. We look at the end point we're trying to get to, and it looks like it's going to go from point A to point Z is going to require so many jumps, and we don't even know how to get there. So in order to help with the overwhelm, what I usually suggest that people do is that they take a pen and a paper, and you know I love my pen and my paper. You write down all those things you want to learn, all those things you want to do without judgment, without figuring out why, without thinking this is too much. Just write it down on a paper. And then I want you to take those things, write it down in an order of priority. So for example, if you're like, I need to figure out what the hell a 401k is, or what the hell a 529 is, what the hell investment in whatever it is. I want you to take all that, put it number 1 to 40. Let's just say it's number 1 to 40, right? In order of priority, which you want to achieve those goals. And then I want you to decide when you want to achieve them. So for example, I could say, my goal is to answer one question a week, right? That's it. One question a week. Everything else does not exist. Everything else can wait. So literally this week, I may just be learning about 401ks. And how do I do that? I go online, get information, watch videos, podcast, Google, find a book. Just find any information that's going to help you answer the question that you were trying to ask, but only one question at a time. Right? And then guess what? By the end of this week, you're going to know what 401k is. Doesn't mean that suddenly you're this amazing financial guru, but if you start taking your goals and your questions and the knowledge you're trying to acquire one at a time, within a specified amount of time at a time, and during that time period, you silence and you practice constraint with everything else, right? Nothing else matters. Nothing else is important. You don't need to let anything else except this one. Guess what? In 3 months, you're probably going to have about 12 topics that you didn't know about before that now you suddenly are able to understand what they mean. So that's what we call compounding. So it's that idea of compounding knowledge, compounding financial goals, where you take one thing at a time, invest your time, invest your knowledge into it, and in a couple of months, before you know it, your confidence is going to be compounding. Your knowledge is going to be compounding. Your goals accomplished is going to be compounding. So that is the trick, my dear, about how to achieve your goals and how to acquire knowledge without the overwhelm. It's doing it one at a time and believing in the importance and the value of compounding. Because guess what? A year from now, you're going to be a very, very different person. I didn't learn everything that I know now in one day, and I'm still learning, and I will continue to learn. But again, remember the power of compounding interest, compounding knowledge, compounding financial goals. So I want you to go ahead and do this work that I just described to you yourself. Write them down and start the process. And if you're someone that you're like, well, I've been trying to do that and I still just am having a hard time, my mind is getting in the way, the how-to is getting in the way, as you know, I'm offering a free consultation on Ditch the Overwhelm call. Go to my website, www.moneyfitmd.com. It's there. Let's talk, and you'll be amazed by what we can accomplish together in 20 minutes. All right, you take care and have a fantastic rest of the week. Bye-bye.